One of my all-time favorite authors, Kurt Vonnegut, once wrote, "What should young people do with their lives today? Many things, obviously, but the most daring thing is to create stable communities in which the terrible disease of loneliness can be cured." It gets better. It gets better. Who knew 3 words could have such an impact? I mean, besides I love you, I never expected 3 words to change my life. And maybe they don't, you know? All the critics are saying an inspirational message. It's not much to go on. That can't actually save someone's life, can it? I think it's a start. I mean, at the very beginning of all of this, it kind of feels like you're in a hole, you know what I mean? Like you dug a grave and you accidentally fell into it and it's dark and there isn't a ladder in sight and all you have to do is wait and hope and see if it all works out. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a grim explanation, but that's kind of the way it is, you know? It's like there's not enough air to keep living. So it gets better. I think something we forget is that our lives are kind of like bubbles. You know? Like you're born into a certain area of the world with your culture and the people that you know, and you grow up in a certain lifestyle and you learn and you meet people and you're in a bubble. You know? At first you only understand what affects you. And then at some point someone breaks your bubble, bursts it or steps into it. If you want to use boxes for example, that's fine too. But it gets larger. Somehow you graduate from high school, or you graduate from middle school, or you graduate from elementary school, and it expands just a little bit. And you go to college and it expands a little bit more. And then you graduate college and you go into the real world and you realize that all of the bubbles that you've been used to are kind of interchanging. And you have a lot more decision about those bubbles than you realize. Does that make sense? I'm sure bubbles is a weird analogy. I don't think there's one person in the world that has never for a split second felt alone. Hopelessness, it's addicting. It's a vicious cycle. As soon as you start thinking, I don't think I can do this, I don't think this is going to work, I only think I have one option, those thoughts keep coming back, you know? So here's my challenge to you guys, as baby beavers. If you've been watching the site for a while, you realize that we're really big on community here. We think that one person is great, but 5 people are even better. So my challenge to you is to talk to someone. Whether you're the one with the problem, or you know someone that has a problem, or everyone you know already has it figured out, talking never hurt anyone. My name's Cade. I'm 23. And up until now, my life's worked out. It has gotten better. And the days that I think that it can't are partly because I don't want it to, because that's a lot of work and it's a lot of fear. And getting over that fear is sometimes impossible. So it's really, really good to have someone to help you get over the fear. Someone who has already gotten past that fear, or someone who has never had that fear to begin with. It's kind of nice to push that fear aside and focus on them for a little bit. Because if you distract yourself long enough, then when you come back to it, maybe you realize that things can get a little better. Even if it's just a small amount at a time, you know? No one said you're going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be figured out. No one said that you're not going to meet a jerk or 2 or 10 or 500 in the next 50 years of your life. Because you are. There's a large part of humanity that sucks, you know? And that's a reality. But what we're trying to point out is that we're here, and we are all going through it together. And I don't think we remember that enough. So, yeah, it gets better. And I think it should get better right here. I think our community should get better. I wanted to point out a site that started after the It Gets Better campaign. It's called the We Got Your Back Project. It's specifically focused on biphobia, transphobia, and racial issues within our community. And I thought it was really cool that they took a more specified approach, because I do think it starts at home. And I don't think that an inspirational message about it getting better will fix everything. I think it's going to be hard, and it comes with a lot of hard work, and there should be outlets, and there should be action-oriented progress. And I think that it takes more than one person to do that. I think that saying it gets better is where it starts. It gets better. Now what? That's where the Trevor Project comes in. If you feel like you can't say it gets better today, and you're not absolutely convinced, give them a call. I guarantee you there are a dozen people waiting on the other end of that line to make you smile. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for coming back every week. And feel free to post your own video here or on the It Gets Better page. It really does help.